Who cares what the Ten Commandments says anyway?
Hello and welcome to TGI Monday. It's great that you're watching us. Folks, why are we in this room as opposed to our usual location?
Well, this is the new rectory where I've just moved, and we were trying to work out, we've got very busy diaries, haven't we? So we were trying to work out how to do what we need to do, and Tamar, for various reasons, it was going to suit well to be here today, wasn't it? And as we can see, Tamar's not been able to make it. She's a bit poorly.
So get well soon, Tamar. We did this for you. Right, another question. Is this a good or a bad thing? I'll just hold that up for Simon.
Is it a good or a bad thing?
I may have done more than one speed awareness course in my time.
Okay.
I've just done the one.
Just the one. That obviously worked first time with you. I think they're a good thing.
Okay.
Because I just absorbed all of the information they gave me about dangerous roads and the impact that speed has.
Okay.
Yes, I think they are, but I've got an awful feeling this might be a trick question.
Obviously.
Well, since how Damien and I were struggling to find our way here, ever so slightly, without incriminating yourself, have you ever broken a law?
Have I ever broken a law?
Yes. It's like the Theresa May question,
I'm
isn't
absolutely-
it? What's the naughtiest thing you've ever done?
Yes, I've run through a field of wheat. I'm sure that I have, but I'm sure also that God has forgiven me.
Oh,
So
Your Honour.
that concludes the case for the defence.
Appearing in court in dog collar.
Well, I've already fessed up to, definitely.
Yeah.
I have been on a couple of speed awareness courses, so...
I have also. The fact that I was leaving Accrington at the time didn't wash with the prosecution.
No, this is starting to feel a bit like a self-help group. Things going, I also did that.
It was a long time ago. I was young, I was foolish.
I was young and I was foolish.
And what about you?
We're against the clock here.
Oh,
So we're moving.
He's been
quickly
speeding
on.
today. I think he's just feeling guilty.
I think just to get here.
Soon as
we welcome you into our number.
Yes.
No, I can honestly say, I can look you, dear viewer, in the eye, and I can look everyone here in the eye and say, I do not speed. I do not speed. Because I watched a video about, from Break, the speed and safety, road safety awareness charity. The biggest killer of children isn't paedophiles or murder or anything.
Right.
It's road traffic accidents.
20 is plenty.
20 is plenty. And when I saw the 20 signs coming down here thinking, where am I going? I was thinking, 20 is not plenty today. But yes, there's a statistic which you probably realise, being on your awareness course, is that the reason it's 30 is because under 30, if you hit someone, the chances are they live. Over 30, 31, 32, 33, the chances are you'll kill somebody. Which links in, actually, with today's question from Ivy Dragon Breath.
Is that a real name? I love that. I want that name.
I think it's Bishop Clive's, YouTube handle. A regular viewer.
Ivy Dragon Breath.
It says, by the way, Ivy, thanks for your questions. I know you're a regular viewer. And this is another good question from Ivy. How seriously do we need to take the 10 Commandments? Would you like a quiz? Without looking, could you name the 10 Commandments? You don't need to
Not that loud.
name them all, each. Divvy them up.
Is this the first, the second, the third?
Excellent.
I
There's 1, 2.
I think most of them, I reckon. Yeah.
Shall we give it a go?
Have a
Come on
shot.
then.
I won't look either. All right. No killing.
Love the Lord your God.
No adultery.
No stealing.
No
Right.
false witness.
No coveting.
Yeah.
Honour your mother and father.
Keep the Sabbath holy.
I've lost count.
7.
I am the Lord your God who brought you out of the land of Egypt. You shall have no other gods before me.
8.
Mhm.
Graven images.
So no
9.
idols. Yeah, no idols.
Okay.
Because we're making graven
There's two.
images now, aren't we?
There's two coveting ones. There's coveting
neighbour.
wife or is it coveting wife and neighbour, goods, ox, ass, whatever,
Yeah.
all that, all your.
So if we really ran
Steel
out.
was in there, wasn't it?
Yeah, stealing stuff.
Shall I check the list?
Yeah.
Okay, so
It's not
we've
looking
got-
good, Vickers.
That's it.
You did brilliantly, us three of us,
Oh,
and we managed
like,
to get most of them.
Don't use the Lord's name in vain.
Ah, of course.
And I was about to.
No,
Thinking-
Paul, you
yes.
definitely
I
weren't, I'm
definitely
sure.
wasn't.
No,
No, yes, my mouth is pure.
Oh,
and
we're
clean.
missing Hal.
So, Ivy, how do we do this? How do we do this? I think simple answer, yes. They're all good things to
Yeah.
obey, really. And I don't think they're putting the kibosh on life, like restricting us. I think it's a bit like the speed limit. It's there for a reason. So live and let live.
Like all rules, it gives a framework for freedom, doesn't it? It enables you to live in such a way that you actually do very little harm. And if you go through each of the commandments, it seems to me that all of them are rooted in what we think of as common sense. A means of ordering your life so that you are content with what you have. You're not always seeking to acquire. You live a balanced life and a life that doesn't damage or harm others or creation.
That's a very studious answer. Thank you, Damien.
Yes.
So,
I don't know where that came from.
would you like to put the cherry on top of that cake?
Oh, no pressure there then. No, well, I agree in the end. And actually, these are very, well, apart from the love God, but they're very unreligious, quite a lot of them. They're about living as a community. So
Yeah.
they are, don't, if you spend the whole time looking at what your neighbour's got, grass is always greener, you're not going to be happy. If you don't take care of one another as a family, that means that everybody's a bit more miserable. And actually those, but there's no doubt that they're hard, some of them, but actually they could pretty much be taken out of the Bible and used as a code for living
That
pretty
is the
well,
amazing
couldn't
thing
it?
about them compared to a lot of the rules and regulations and rubrics that we get in the Old Testament. Those actually stand on their own
Yeah.
as a really good, really simple way for life, secular or sacred.
So the top 10.
Top 10.
Thanks,
No.
hot pickers.
And I think sometimes though in the question, because we quite often say, there's lots of laws in the Old Testament, and we don't take those literally, and so why is it that we read those different to say quite a lot of the, about not cutting the hair on your sideburns?
Now that's
why
it.
do we decide to take these ones seriously but not those?
Mixed
These ones from
fibres.
Deuteronomy rather than Leviticus.
Right, and
Does
so
that make a difference, scholars?
Deuteronomy is the book of the law. Leviticus is priestly code. I'm just winging it now. But
How are we doing on time?
I think we should let him fumble for a
one
little.
interesting question though that emerges from what Zoe said is that a lot of them don't seem to be specifically religious
No.
but actually the first ones
Yeah.
are all about right relationship with God, and all of the others, it seems, contribute to that sense of right relationship with God as well as with one another. So it all kind of funnels in the same direction in the end.
Well, and when Jesus said, because they were constantly accusing him of, he's breaking the law, stone him, blasphemer, and all of that stuff. But he said, no, all of it can be summarised in those two things, being loving God and loving your neighbour as yourself. And actually, those two things can't be separated anyway.
I think it was a
don't
Jewish
think.
scholar said of the Torah, to love God and to love neighbour is the essence of the Torah, everything else is commentary.
Yeah, okay. So that's the heart, and the rest of it
Yes.
is people then doing stuff with
Much like Jesus' summary of it, isn't it? Love the Lord your God, love your neighbour as yourself.
There it is.
Okay.
That's all. Yeah,
Well, Ivy,
pretty serious.
brilliant question, because it spurred so many other questions.
Absolutely.
And I'll leave you with a quote from Martin Seeley, the Right Reverend Martin Seeley, who was the principal of Westcott, where I did my vicar school, and he's now a bishop. So hopefully this isn't going to haunt him, which is,
I'm nervous.
he was trying to get me to serve him after hours in the college bar. And I said, but excuse me, the law is the law and the rules are the rules. And he said, Paul, part of your training will be to know that there are some rules to obey, some rules to be bent, and some rules to be broken.
So basically, licensing rules are the ones we break then. Was that what the bishop was saying? So if you want a drink after hours, for goodness sake.
Also library books.
Oh gosh.
So the 10 Commandments are a good thing. The 11th is thou shalt share this episode with thy friends and thy neighbours. And the 12th is thou shalt send us your questions. Thank you.
You should have been reading from a very large tome.
A scroll.
Oh yeah.
Have you brought the scrolls?
No, but I've got the tablet.
Oh dear.